everybody, Alex the Big Boy Verrey reporting exclusively for Madcast. Well, it's day 3 here at PAX and the big names keep on coming. We're here with possibly the biggest of them all. This is Aliens Colonial Marines coming out February 2013. This game looks sensational. We've heard a lot about it and we're giving a chance for the real fans to play it here at PAX. I am lucky enough to be joined by Brian. Brian is senior producer of Gearbox, coming out, of course, 2013. Aliens Colonial Marines looking fantastic. Brian, how's it been going for you here at PAX?
It's been going amazing. This is probably one of my favorite shows because it has you get to meet all the fans and they really have a certain passion about this that it reinvigorates you. It's really fun.
It really does, and it feels very different to other trade shows, doesn't it? Because it really is about the community, it's about showing those guys the new software. Everybody's really excited to be playing the games.
Oh yeah, and one thing that's awesome is that because this franchise has been around for so long and so many the demographics who play these games and who watch the movies is so wide, you get to meet some of the most interesting people, whether they're kids or they're adults of the whale or that saw the original Alien and they're like, oh my god, they're making a video game about this. It's really cool.
But you know what I love about Aliens, it's an evergreen franchise. The movies have been around for so long now. I don't think there's been too many great Aliens games. They really have. They varied in quality right over the last 20 years. I think this one really looks like it's getting it right. What do you think is different about Colonial Marines? Give me the 30-second pitch.
Yeah, totally. This is, when you saw the film as a kid, or when you're my age, right?
Of course, none of us saw it as kids, right?
And it's one of those things that, you have this fantasy when you run around shooting Xenos, and you grow up and you can actually make a game like this, and you can actually be a Colonial Marine. Killing Xeno is the most dangerous alien in the universe, and it's a fantasy fulfillment. It's one of those things that you grow up and you get to do for real this time, and that's the focus. And you're a Colonial Marine, and that's really what I think a lot of people, when it comes to first-person shooters in this universe, have been really wanting to play as and focus on.
Actually be there in the movie, which is a beautiful aspect of the game. I know as a sophisticated core gamers we shouldn't be so entranced by graphics, but really it just looks phenomenal. It looks so close to the film, certainly from the Aliens. It really looks so close to the films. How much design influence did you take from the movies? Did you have any of the guys working on the original movies? Did you have any reference material to work on?
Yeah, totally. So the great thing about working with with this franchise, you get to meet such interesting people. And so when we first started working on this, Brian Martell, the creative director for Gearbox, he actually met with Ridley Scott to talk about just random things. And Aliens came up, and what Ridley did for Alien. This is years ago, prior to when Prometheus came out, and they got talking, and that kind of lit a fire. Oh my God, there's something here. This franchise could be so much more, and we can continue it, and not just let it evolve into something for AVP. And I think in a certain way, that conversation also kind of did something with Ridley. So that's kind of cool to think about. But we also worked with Sid Mead. He's the original, he's a futurist. Yeah. He, if you saw the light cycle in Tron, he did that, the visual design for Blade Runner. Yeah. And so he did a lot of designs for the Aliens film. And so when we went back to these locations, we actually, we wanted to be as authentic as possible because we're actually canonical. In the universe of Aliens, we are canonical. And so we wanted to go to the people who actually started this, who actually came up with the original vision, and continue it. And so there's parts of the Slocka, the ship that you saw, the Colonial Marines arrive on, that we never got to see in the film. But in the video game, you get to explore that, and a lot of those concepts came from Sid Mead, the guy who originally did it. So if you're talking about the most authentic, the most painstakingly detailed, true to the franchise thing you could think of, we did that because that's what we really wanted to do, to extend and see those places that you never got to see.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautifully authentic. As a developer, how hard was it for you guys to match the claustrophobic experience of the movies? Because I think that's very important to the feel of Aliens, and actually keep it still interesting for the gamer, so that there's always action going on in the game. How hard was it for you guys to match the two together?
Well, it's always kind of an interesting balance when you have an action game and you have also suspense and terror. So Aliens, depending on what film you saw, Alien is a really good monster in the house, kind of the one thing that you don't ever get to see until jumps out and grabs you, and it's terrifying, right? It's a very scary film. Then Aliens is more of an action film, and so people's perceptions of what Aliens are, and kind of whatever everyone is these things are terrifying, but if you have a Marine, you have a gun, you're powerful, but when you're by yourself, you're not. And so in the game, when you play through the single-player campaign, also co-op, you can actually if your squad's with you, you feel like you actually have a chance, right? But if you're by yourself, you can hear those sounds, you hear the creaks, you see the motion tracker go off, and that triggers those responses that you remember, and like it's terrifying.
Okay, now I just want to turn gear to the Wii U version. Wii U version has been getting so much press for Aliens because I think it's sparked the imagination. It really shows that the Wii U is going to be out to appeal to the core gamers, to the passionate gamers. How hard has it been for you guys to integrate the special features of the Wii U gamepad into the game and into the world of Aliens Colonial Marines?
There's a lot of stuff there. One thing that's really cool, like you think about that gamepad. We haven't talked too much about this stuff yet, but one can imagine what you can do with a gamepad, just like you do in the film with the motion stuff like that, and there's all kinds of other kind of augmented stuff you can do in this world with a gamepad like that. And so we're going to talk about more of that stuff in the future, and we're excited about it because it adds a different level of depth and interest that you don't usually get.
You're being a little coy on some of the special features there, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I think the game looks phenomenal. If you've got one last thing you want to tell all the fans at home about the game, what is the most exciting aspect of Aliens in your opinion?
Well, the most exciting thing is getting the chance to actually get in this universe and for reals experience being a Colonial Marine, because that's something that I've always wanted to do, and I think a lot of other people have, and that's in previous games what people really wanted to see more of. And so that's one of the most exciting things, is to actually get in that universe, be a Colonial Marine, kick some Xeno, tail, and
getting a chance to live every gamer's fantasy. That's what video games are about, right? Well, listen, we're absolutely thrilled to be here. Aliens looking absolutely beautiful. Colonial Marines coming out next February 2013. Be there. It is a beautiful game. This has been Alex Verrey reporting for Mad Cats. Thank you.
Thank you.